Hi guys, welcome back. It's Mrs. Peterson, that lady who teaches art. And today we are looking at part 3 of our logo design unit. We are starting with movement. If you missed part 1 or 2, go back and watch those. But this will be the last video in this series. So on this page, this is movement, and our definition is using elements to direct the viewer's eye through the work of art to the focal point. So how do artists do that in their artwork? First of all, they can put things on a slant, like a diagonal line, going up or going down. We can have repeated lines, repeated shapes, increasing size, increasing value. So those are the ways that artists create movement in their artwork. Okay, so let's take a look at some logos with movement in them. So first we have this logo from Stone Canoe. It has the same line, but the hues in that line are fading from dark blue to light blue and then fading into light green and then more of a lime green. So we definitely have that movement with the hue change. In the Pantene Pro V, you have, it almost looks like a twist of, well, I think it's supposed to be hair because that's usually what they do, but it almost looks like smoke or something that's like twisting up. And then in the Digifarm, you have the repeated horse in different shades and tints and color and hue that makes it look like it's being captured moving. So those repeated elements cause movement. Okay, so let's take a look at our own personal logo using movement. So first of all, I can create things on a slant. Okay. I can make that slant also go up. And again, I use lowercase letters. You could try doing this with uppercase letters. You could do some upper, some lower. You have lots of boxes in this packet to fill, so use those ideas. You could have each letter be slanted. Have that line slant back. You could repeat shape. I have these very tall rectangular shaped letters. And again, mess with lowercase, uppercase. You could increase size, like I did in that one. Down here I have increasing value. And then here I have each letter trying to tip it kind of back. All right. Okay, the last principle of design is contrast, and contrast is the use of opposites. So what techniques do artists use to create contrast in their artwork? They put opposites next to each other, such as light and dark, rough and smooth, or sharp and rounded. And then let's look at some contrast logos that have contrast in them out in the world. So first is FedEx. The graphic artist who designed this worked really hard to get the E and the X to form an arrow in that negative space between them. So if you've never seen this before, look at that space between the E and the X. There's an arrow pointing forward. And so that contrast of the orange next to the white space creates that arrow that shows what they want to be. They want to be moving your packages forward. And then this rabbit, it is really just made with some black shapes, and it actually has symmetry between both sides also. But the negative space creates like the whole face of the rabbit. So you see the eyes, the nose, all of that just because of the contrast between the background and the foreground. So here are some examples of my initials. Okay, take a good look at this one. This is light and dark. I actually have seen students thinking that the white is the E, but I want you to take a look right here. The E is actually flipped backwards, and it's just that dark there. And then I contrasted that with the P being the same height, but being the white on the opposite side. You could try rough and smooth by just having very smooth font line for one of your letters, and then a zigzag line to make the next letter. You could also try increasing that contrast by having one be very cursive-y, feminine, and then I tried to make a really like old typewriter-y looking letter for the last initial. And then you could have sharp and rounded. My A lends itself to being really sharp, so I made that one extra pointy, and then I made the E and the P more round. And then I don't have another one for that. So you do need to fill in this box with something, but it doesn't have to be contrast. Okay, so when you get done with all of these videos, your next step is to go back and make sure that you have all the small boxes filled in with different ideas throughout the whole packet. When you have all of those boxes filled in, you're going to look through and pick your very favorite 4, and you need to put those top 4 in each of these boxes. Redraw them really nicely because your classmates are going to look at these top 4 for the next class period when we do this. We will show them to the class, and they will talk to you about what they like for you and what they think you should do for your logo, okay? All right, you guys, I can't wait to see what you create.